So, good afternoon. It's Friday afternoon, it's 31 degrees outside and we're sitting down here in this room, which is most probably not very good. But let's do something American before we start. So could you all stand up, please? It only takes a few seconds. Just stand up, yes? Okay.
Get some blood into your legs.
Oh. Okay, so those of you who doesn't have a medical app on their phone, please sit down. Okay, those of you who has more than 5 medical apps on the phone, or less than 5, please sit down. Less than 10. Okay, I see a few. I'm going to get my steps here. So, hi sir, what's your name?
Tal.
What is the biggest problem with all these medical apps?
I don't use most of them.
Why not?
Why not? I don't remember why I installed most of them, probably.
Let's see. And here we have another challenge. Hi, sir. What is your biggest problem?
Too much information.
Too much information, okay. And
in too many places.
Too many places. Okay, we're going to talk about that, so please sit down. Thank you very much. And before that, we are going to Africa.
All right, can I have the first slide then, please? You have to push it.
Yeah, I have to push, but there is no. Oh, there. Yeah,
okay.
Here we go.
So you think Africa, but Africa, as you all know by now, is the promised land for mobile technology. And that is because they do not have the boundaries that we have. They skipped a generation of technology, and now it's all open to new things. So if you want to look in the future, look to Africa. Now we have to go back to my first experience as a doctor in Africa. And the one thing that came to my mind is that all the patients that came to my outpatient clinic, they were carrying their own notebook. Now that's a lot for the things that we've been discussing. That's PHR in its first stages. That is the patient carrying its own information, his own medical data. And one of the reasons that I'm always very pleased to be in this conference is that this is one of the conferences that patients are actually involved and are actually talking here. And that is, I think, because here now we are sharing the medical data with our patients. So we have to go and look what happened in Africa.
So this is us 2 years ago actually, and we were here proudly standing to get a prize for our first app, IP Voiding Diary. And because of that, we also went to Stanford University to Medicine X, and it was a really cool experience. And in the meantime, of course, 2 years ago, we are still a startup. We experienced a lot of things. And of course, we make medical apps, and in the meantime, we have created a few of them, varying from arthritis to rare diseases and physiotherapy. And we learned really a lot. We had our highs and also our lows. And we'd like to, let's say, take you to a journey, what we learned in that time.
Okay, so this is a picture of the app that won. It's IP Voiding Diary. Actually, it's what you need as a urologist to recognize the pattern of bladder problems. And the reason that we won is that it actually solved the problem. Because we did it on paper, the patients brought it at home, they filled it in, brought it back, and you don't want to see the way it comes back. Now, making it digital, it became easier for the patient to use it, so it had a definite use. And the user interaction architecture that was used in this app was really, well, at least it was prize-winning. The thing is that what it does, it captures the information of 24 hours bladder problems, and it gives it back to the patient. And that's probably key here, is that the patient is not just registering what he's doing, he also gets paid by seeing and getting insight in his own bladder problems. So not just the doctor who can interpret the results, but the patient himself can do something with it. Okay, so in Holland there was a big research under medical specialists asking them how many of them were prescribing apps, and that was about 20%. But the second question was, how many of you want to prescribe medical apps? And that was about 60%. So we're wondering, where is the other 40%? Why are they not using apps? Now, that's something that we learned in our journey from making apps from 2 years ago until now. So we'll address a few of these problems.
And one of them, of course, is that medical apps have basically a pretty lousy business model. If you think that you're going to develop the next Angry Birds for medical apps, then most probably you're wrong. We tried, but it didn't work. So finding this business model and where you're going to find some money to start, but also to generate new money to invest in your company, that seems to be a very big challenge for not only, let's say, mHealth, but for eHealth in general.
Okay, now another big problem is doctors. And this is a colleague of mine that I'm showing the app, and you can see in his eyes that he is slightly amused, but I already know at that point that he's never going to use it. So getting colleagues to use apps is still extremely difficult. And then the second thing, of course, is if you want to introduce mobile technology in your hospital, you need the IT guys to actually support it and to build it into the system. And that turned out to be a really big challenge as well. So it took about 1.5 years before my own hospital was actually using my own app.
But they do now. So there are 40,000 medical apps in the App Store. And if you look at those apps, most of them, they do something with lifestyle or wellness. So this category is really pretty vague. But it's really difficult to find the right app for the right patient. And if you look to those 40,000 apps, if you really look at that, most of them, they measure something. They keep track of biometric data of some sort. And we thought we need to do something with that. But then you look further and you say, if you really want to make something in this mHealth field, in this arena, you run into these abbreviations. Now you can have very nice games about these kind of abbreviations. But the thing is, you need to do something with that. You need to have an opinion about anonymization, pseudonymization, interoperability, and all these things that are in there. So we took care of that and we said, okay, what does that mean for future technologies that we're going to make?
Another thing is that 2 years ago, this conference was full of apps, wasn't it? I mean, apps was the big thing. It was Amsterdam. I mean, everyone was talking about the new app, what's the next big thing? And this year, you can see that apps have really sort of moved away. Apps are just something that you need in order to use a service or use a device. And the devices are very strong this year, isn't it? I mean, we got the Vital Connect, we got iHealth, we got, well, there's loads of them, isn't there? And the apps just come with them. So it's the paradigm is changing there, and we have to do something with this all connected health thing. I mean, we've been talking a lot of it, but I know one thing, in 2020, we'll have at least 7 or 8 of these connected devices around us and using it, and they will definitely be healthcare related as well.
And then there's this certification thing. In Holland, we are very much looking to, okay, what kind of certificate can we use to have a certain quality stamp? And we have, of course, CE certification, but that's not enough. And in the US, they tried it as well, Haptic. But it took them about 2 years to evaluate and to document about 12 apps. So they still had some kind of 40,000 to go. That will take some time. So they stopped it, actually. So they stopped it. And another thing is about data security and privacy. And the FTC did some research with, I think it was like 12 apps. And they found out that the data was going to 76 external third parties, which is, of course, shocking. And that may not ever happen again, of course. But that is bothering the community as well.
Okay, Denise, so you asked us to tell me about the next phase of the IP voiding diary app. That's what we're going to do now. So the IP voiding diary app actually consists of a few functionalities. This is number 1, it's peeing. Then this is number 2, and that's incontinence. We put it together with the last one, which is drinking. So this is the IP voiding diary app. It took us 9 months to make and to market, and we never made any money, but at least we got to go to Larry Chu's thing. Now, in our new platform, what we are going to do, and we're going to try and demonstrate it to you in a way, and live after the show, if you want to, we're going to make that same app in 45 seconds. So we need to have these functionalities, and if we want to, for example, add another one, because all patients are different, they have different demands, we just added on, so you don't really have to make an app. Can you show us how it looks like?
Yeah, so this is the platform, and it basically consists of 3 really easy steps. And the first step is the doctor and the patient sit together, and they select their own, let's say, functionalities for the app, what they would like to measure, what they would like to know from this specific patient. So in a web environment, they say, okay, I have bladder problems. I would like to know your drinking, your peeing, and your urine loss. The second step is that this app is then being transferred to an empty app in the App Store for the patient. And within 45 seconds, we indeed have created IP voiding diary that took us 9 months before. And then finally, of course, if the patient is measuring and taking note of all these kind of variables, then it comes back to the doctor.
Yes, it's the same thing as in the other app. Is it you ask the patient to help you, he's going to register things at home, then obviously he has to have access to what he has done in a way that he can actually understand what is happening. So here we provided the platform with all the results of the things that you've been doing in a way that you understand what's happening, and it's integrating all the different blocks, Lego blocks that I've just shown to you. So if you have that patient and he, for example, has overweight as well, you want to tweak the app, just go together with your doctor or alone if you want to, and put in like scales or weight or sensor trackers, and you just make the app different.
So what we've created the last couple of months actually is what we call a minimal viable product. And minimal viable product is even before a beta version, but it works. And what we did is we started with these kind of what we called clinic cards. And as you can see, there are various clinic cards, like a step counter, of course, that has to do with an activity tracker and sensor technologies. But you also see some clinic cards that have to do with sleep. And that is because one of the first verticals that we're going to address is insomnia and also sleep apnea, because that is things that you can measure. But of course, it's a platform, so the possibilities are endless, and we're looking forward to also do things for arthritis, for bladder problems, for people with heart problems, and so on and so forth. And of course, we are a startup, so you do not want to do everything alone. And that means that you have to partner, that you have to find a network, and networks that with people who share the same vision. So working with SenseOS, that enables us to use all those sensor technologies to feed into our system. Deloitte for privacy and security. University of Utrecht, where we work together for the validation, because we truly believe that medical apps should be validated and there should be some evidence-based. And a really important thing, 93% of innovations in health fail, and it's not about technology, it's about implementation. So if you ever build mHealth applications, put a lot of effort in implementation, and we're working together with Implementation IQ, who have identified 137 yes buts. It is not working in my department, and you need to address those 137 yes buts. So we would like to invite you all to have a look at the website and to write in for our private beta platform. It's open today. We have showed it to only a few people, so if you want to see it outside, please come to us, and we also have some material. We need feedback, because we made a start, but we need a lot of feedback, because we hope that together with you guys we can make the next step in medical apps. Thank you very much.
Thank you.